Midnight settles over London on the 2nd of September in 1666. In Pudding Lane, a baker's kitchen burns until a single spark finds its way into the heart of the city. This fragile medieval heart is built of timber and brick, waiting for the wind to carry the flame across narrow streets. The smoke rises against the dark sky as the night deepens, unaware that 4 days of destruction now lie in motion. Within these 700 acres dwell 80,000 souls, though the wider world counts 300,000 inhabitants. The Lord Mayor hesitates to remove structures and create firebreaks, a critical delay that allows the Inferno to swallow St Paul's Cathedral and leap the river fleet toward Whitehall Palace. By Tuesday, the destruction is complete across the metropolis. Yet, when the Tower of London finally uses gunpowder to create effective barriers, the coordinated firefighting efforts are considered won. The monument stands at the junction where Fish Street Hill meets Monument Street, 200 feet west of that original spark in Pudding Lane. It marks the spot where silence was broken by fire and the city began again from ash, leaving a scar upon the earth history. London breathes wood and smoke. 400,000 souls inhabit 700 acres where timber construction and thatch roofs create a combustible environment despite centuries of prohibition. The city is a tinderbox waiting for the spark. It occurs Sunday the 2nd, September 1666. Midnight passes in Pudding Lane and a bakery ignites. The heat is intense, consuming everything in its path within hours. The flames do not respect boundaries, they are hungry. By Tuesday, the fire spreads over nearly the whole city, destroying St Paul's Cathedral and leaping the river fleet to threaten Whitehall Palace. Lord Mayor Sir Thomas Bloodworth hesitates on firebreaks, delaying the removal of structures until the Tower of London garrison uses gunpowder to create effective firebreaks. The monument stands at the junction of Monument Street and Fish Street Hill, 200 feet west of the spot in Pudding Lane. It was constructed between 1671 and 1677 on the site of St. Margaret New Fish Street. London was estimated at 300,000 to 400,000 inhabitants by the 1660s. It commemorates the destruction between September 2 and 5 December. The death toll is small, though some historians challenge this belief. Coordinated firefighting efforts were considered won when the tower used gunpowder. By Tuesday, the Inferno has reached a terrifying zenith. The heat is no longer contained by stone or timber. St. Paul's Cathedral, the city's spiritual heart, finally succumbs to the consuming heat. Its great dome crumbles into smoke, joining debris of centuries in a swirling vortex of ash. Now, the flames leap the river fleet, crossing the water barrier that once protected the West End. Whitehall Palace stands exposed, its wooden galleries trembling under threat of total annihilation. The city proper, home to 80,000 souls within 700 acres, is reduced to an open wound. Panic spreads through the streets where 300,000 citizens once lived in this metropolis. Lord Mayor Bloodworth hesitates, delaying firebreaks that might have contained the spread. Time slips away like water from a cup. The only salvation lies in gunpowder, as the tower garrison attempts to carve a line of destruction against the advancing wall of fire. This is not merely a blaze, it is a geological shift, turning London into a landscape of ruin overnight. As night falls, the shadows lengthen over the charred skyline, marking the end of an old world and the painful birth of something new from the ashes. The heat was not merely weather, it was a living entity breathing through Pudding Lane. Yet, in the heart of the city, hesitation lingered like smoke. Sir Thomas Bloodworth, Lord Mayor of London, stood at the precipice of catastrophe. He possessed the authority to order the destruction of structures, to create firebreaks to save the capital. But he paused. The weight of office clashed with sheer necessity. Political friction clouded his judgment. The Crown demanded action, the magistrates hesitated, paralyzed by fear and bureaucratic inertia. On that Tuesday, September 3rd, the flames consumed nearly the whole city. St. Paul's Cathedral fell, its dome swallowed in orange silence. The fire leaped the river Fleet, threatening the royal palace at Whitehall itself. London held 300,000 souls across 700 acres of timber and thatch. Every moment of delay cost thousands of homes, yet perhaps not lives, though the death toll is still debated. Only when the Tower of London garrison finally employed gunpowder to carve effective firebreaks did coordinated efforts seem won. Until then, the mayor's hesitation allowed destruction to deepen, etching a scar upon history until the monument rose decades later, marking the exact spot where the Inferno began. By Tuesday, the Inferno consumed nearly the whole city. St. Paul's Cathedral stood as a dark silhouette against the smoke, its spire lost to the heat that leaped the river Fleet toward Whitehall Palace. Yet, amidst this roar, a strange calm began to settle within the burning streets. The hesitation of Lord Mayor Sir Thomas Bloodworth finally gave way to decisive action. At last, the Tower garrison moved with grim precision. They utilized gunpowder not for war, but for survival, blasting gaps through the dense urban fabric to create effective firebreaks that halted the devouring heat. When the coordinated effort succeeded, the scale of loss became clear against the backdrop of a city of 300,000 to 400,000 souls. The destruction was total within the 700-acre city proper, home to 80,000 people. Yet, amidst the chaos and falling timber, the death toll remained surprisingly small. The monument now stands at Fish Street Hill, towering 200 feet west of where Pudding Lane once began, a stone testament marking the end of the flames. In that silence following the blast, London survived not by force of arms, but by the sheer endurance of its people against the consuming night. By Wednesday evening, the flames had consumed nearly the city. For 3 days and nights, London burned in terrifying destruction, taking few lives, though the death toll remained relatively small amidst the chaos, with loss measured in timber and stone across 700 acres. Lord Mayor Sir Thomas Bloodworth's hesitation delayed vital firebreaks, allowing the Inferno to leap the river Fleet and threaten Whitehall Palace before finally being subdued by gunpowder from the Tower of London garrison. Yet, when the smoke cleared, the decision was made not to flee, but to rebuild upon the original medieval plan. The city proper, home to 80,000 souls within a population reaching 400,000, rose again from the ashes. At Fish Street Hill, where St. Margaret once stood, construction began between 1671 and 1677. A stone obelisk was erected 200 feet west of Pudding Lane's bakery origin. It stands as a permanent scar, a monument to memory rather than triumph. London remembered the heat, marking the precise moment history ignited in a grain of flour. The reconstruction preserved the familiar streets while the stone watched over the lessons of 1666, ensuring the fire would be forgotten by those walking its paths.